See if we can get a few people on here. I'm just going to check something at a moment. So if you are catching up, there we go. There we go. Good morning, good morning. 8 live viewers, I apologise for that. 1:46. Something came up. I had to check my gates. The gates were shut. Good morning, welcome to Saturday Morning Live with Johnyboy, supported by the guys from ITS. Remember, ITS can deliver 7 days a week, and if you order before 7, you can get it the next day. It's as simple as that. With over 22,000 Trustpilot reviews. Check them out. Go to the website www.its.co.uk. They're a great company, and yes, they want your money, and nothing wrong with that. We all want people's money. We had 8 live viewers, and now we're down to 5. We had a comment there coming in. Oh, there we go. I can see it. Di, how's it going? Borodar to you, bud. Lee Andy, good morning. Sick of lives. We thought you had got lost. I'm always lost. Good morning, John Ward and Alison. He says, good morning, John and Alison. Well, good morning. We got 1 thumbs up. It'd be good to have a couple more thumbs up. Where do we start? What a crazy week. And I was out there last night at 9:30. We got a couple of live callers, a couple of guests calling in this morning. And do they deliver all over the country? Yeah, absolutely. All over the country, 7 days a week. And they're delivered to site or your home or whatever you want. 3 likes. Let's see if we can start doing the likes. Let's find out how we do these likes. People said the other week, if you know how to do it, maybe you can just do a little comment and just advise people how to do the likes. Just let you know, I was running around looking for these because I need them without a shadow of a doubt. We've got 2 guests this morning. One calling at 10:45, and I'll tell you who it is without any further ado, or do I? What do I do? Do I tell you now? No, it's Ryan Boots, the guy from Element Shields. He's going to be talking about sealers. We've had a lot of requests and interest about sealers. Look, 4 likes, brilliant. It's great to have a response. So Ryan's going to be phoning at 10:45, and I believe that we've got John Ward's going to be calling in at just about 11:05, just after 11, as soon as I get rid of Ryan. Not in that way, like. Anyway, very, very late last night come in, and I've decided that I need some shelves for the unit. I've hired a unit because I just haven't got enough room where I am because of the studio that we're building out there, and it's coming on. It really is coming on in leaps and bounds. 5 live views, fantastic. 5 likes rather. So we're building a studio, we're making it bigger. Yes, it's a small studio, but you don't need a massive studio to make an impact. Look at me, I'm only 2'6", but I make a large impact across the country. 9 live viewers. Brilliant. So got back late last night, and I stayed out there, and Alison wasn't best pleased with me because she changed the bedding, and I didn't want to wake her up last night, and I got in bed with all my sawdust on. The dirty sod I am, I didn't have a shower. I was absolutely shattered. I think it was about 1 o'clock. They actually finally got to bed. I sat down there, fell asleep because I never got in till about 9:30. I was making shelves. You know, oh my God, do we make shelves? Do we buy shelves? Do we use up that old wood? What do we do? And if you guys across the country have another unit that you hire, or whether you've got a yard to store all your products. It's crazy to think that sometimes we don't want to throw stuff away. John Ward says, be nice to meet in the studio and educate and transfer ideas. John, without a shadow of a doubt, we're going to get you in there at some point, and we will at some point get across the country to see you up in Birmingham. If you're a consumer watching this now, or if you're a consumer watching this later, we've got a fantastic landscaper on there. He's going to be joining us to about 11:05. John Ward, he's going to tell us what he thinks. We want to know what you think. So if you've got anything that you want to say, and you want to give us a call after our guests are, just give us a call on 07795 664 002. Leandy, always recycle. Yeah, I know you do. I've tried to recycle. I remember years ago, Andy used to work for me many years ago. He's a friend of mine. We always had these same bricks. We'd end up putting on from one job to another job, hoping that we would use some of these old bricks. And they were old facing bricks. We'd use them in the foundation, use them up with some facing bricks I had left. And I was hoping to use them in the foundation when we were doing those walls that people wouldn't see. But more than often, they'd end up always coming back. And I must have had these bricks for about 3 years. And Andy respectfully reminded me one day that we've been carrying these bricks around for years. So what do you do at the end of those jobs? Have you got somewhere to store it? Do you take it away and pick through it as and when you want it? Because if you can do that, that's the best thing to do. 14 live viewers. We've only got 6 likes. Let's get on that and give it a like. John Ward says, yep, I've got a yard. I couldn't cope without it. Although it seems full of stuff we will never use till we chuck it away. Yeah, absolutely. You keep those slabs, those bricks, the bits of timber. I think timber's great. Rob Fryer, good morning, mate. Just let you know, Rob, it is on its way to you. It is on the way. I literally yesterday picked up the envelopes to send your diamond tip blades out to you. And who else was it? It was Kurum as well. You will be getting it. I will get them in the post now this weekend. Lee McLean says, I've had a yard. It's my back garden. My partner is going mad. Lee, I want to see a picture of that. And it's not good at all. And at the moment, I'm lucky, all right? I'm lucky. I've got this unit now that I've hired, and I need it for all the products that I'm using. And we've got the double garage. I call it the undisclosed location. People, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Some people don't like me using it and calling it the undisclosed location. And I've given it away now. It's a double garage, and we're going to put some roller shutter doors in there. We're going to make some more space, and I'm really excited. I'm really pumped about, and I'm massively pumped about what's going to be going on out there and what we've got planned for the future. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to be totally different and something different that I've touched upon before now, but it's going to be different. We're going to be doing it in a different way in that studio. Got an itchy nose. I'm fine. I haven't got a cold. Let's just scroll up there. John Ward says, if anyone wants a patio out of about 10 different porcelain, I'm your man. Yes. Do you know, John? Rob Fryer says, John Ward, could I take you up on that one? Yeah, absolutely. I remember years ago taking a picture from my girls' room looking down onto a patio that I completed that was made up of all sorts of products, We're going to get you down here, Lisu. All sorts of products, and it looked abstract, okay, to say the least. But it looked good. It was 2 integrated circles, and it looked good. Mark Lithgow has just got us sent a big message there. Morning, everyone. I'm Mark from Natural Landscaping. Has anyone used flow point on porcelain, and can people recommend a grout that they consistently use that's workable and easy to wash off? Thanks. Well, Mark, I got to say, 3 times this week somebody's got back to me about flow point, and they felt that it was granular and very angular underneath. I don't know what I've never used it. I can't comment a lot on it. And then some people tell me it's smooth. Great to use by the looks of it, because you just put it in and then you wash it off. If anybody has got anything else to say, I don't know if John Ward has actually used flow point. I'm sure John will have an answer for us this morning. A lot of grouting systems out there at the moment, and it seems that there's a lot of people people jumping on the bandwagon simply because they can, and you know, and making grounds and producing grounds. You'll see a lot of people, you see a lot of white branded products out there, and people are relabeling them as well, and saying that it's their grout system. John Ward says flow point is okay, but on joints bigger than 3 mil, otherwise it seems granular. Well, there you are. That's what I've been told. This channel is not about slating anybody's products, because that's not the conversation now. What it's about is talking about it and getting people's views on it. You know, I've used Mapai, I've used Bal, I use the Easy Grout from Aspects at the moment. It's always frightening putting that on that, no matter how many times I've done it, but it tends to come up really, really good. And if there's been any sort of porcelain haze, as we call it, after, there's been very minimal, because I do work really hard to get it clean. As it starts to dry, that's when you start cleaning. It's so important that if you're doing it and you've got a big area, that you have people there with you to help you. I've got that pedalo system from Tyler's Tools, Jim Stote up there. I got that off him, that big pedalo system. And then our friend who watches this, I can't think of his name at the moment, I do apologise, my head's gone. He sent me another one, so I've got 2 of those, and I've got 2 wash buoys as well. And I don't mean a wash buoy as a person, but you know, it's those little buckets, and then you can put it in, squeeze it out, and then you can wipe it off. Always remember, wipe the one way. The thing is about the Easy Grout is that it is the slurry grout, okay? It's the slurry grout. And the beauty of a slurry grout, like Flow Point, it gets down there and fills all those joints up. You're not top feeding it with a trowel. You're just pouring it on and working around. John Ward says, flow point, be careful on sandstone. You need to seal it first, or you'll work quick on it to avoid the haze. There you go, straight from John. I think the most important thing is about working fast. You need to work rapid and not necessarily rush, but you need to work with a sense of urgency as you're working. We are going to be having a caller in this morning. Debbie McGee Jr. has just brought me a sandwich, and I just want to show you this sandwich because we are going to have a caller in. Right? You got mine, so it's 3. Lee, I have got yours, but we're going to give you a new one, Lee. We're going to send you a new one up there. Look at this. Nice bacon sandwiches with brown sauce on it. So here we go. We got a caller coming in very, very soon. He's not far away now. Ryan, get ready because people want to know, because John Ward has just touched upon something there. He said if you were using a flow point system, it'd be better to seal your paving first. Good morning, Henry Flint. I'm going to get to Henry in a moment. Everybody needs to have a look at this icon here on this logo. Henry Flint. Henry runs a company called Elite Stone Tools, and their blades are absolutely fantastic. I was hoping to go and get my new Makita 40 volt 2.5 amp Makita grinder. It's absolutely incredible. I put a blade in there from Elite Stone Tools, and I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. It was absolutely smashing those. No, not smashing. It was cutting through that porcelain product almost like butter. It was absolutely incredible to actually see. Go read go back to what John Ward says there. Need to work fast, but after it is set, otherwise you need to drag it over the stones, leading to haze. Great blades from Elite Porcelain cutting. Let's just go back now to what we were actually saying, and John said about sealing it. Rob Beerley's on it. Good morning from sunny Leeds. Hi Rob, how's it going, mate? Just to let you know, Rob, welcome to the show, Saturday morning live with Johnyboy, supported by ITS. If you want to call at any time, I'll give the number to anyone out there that is free. Write this down. We've got 2 callers coming in this morning. And it is 07795 664 002. Yeah, I want to hear from all of you. We've got John Ward calling in just at 11 o'clock. You're going to hear John Ward for the first time, and this guy is so articulate, it's worth the wait. If you go, you go. That's no problem at all. Not too bad. Thanks. Working today through, though never got around to giving you a call last week. Rob, that's no problem at all. Take a call, anyone at any time. Take them to a crusher for hardcore. I don't know what they meant by that. Take them to a crusher for hardcore. Yeah, what you've got left over. Let's bite the sandwich. I've never done this before on a live stream, but I'm going to do it. there you go. It's got to be done, okay? There's always a first from anything. At some point, someone's going to tell me off for having a bacon sandwich, but I need sustenance because of the feedback I'm having off you guys is absolutely incredible. So this week, I ordered that little angle grinder, and I'm not kidding you. I put Henry's blade in there, okay? And just to let you know, Henry's on here now, and he can confirm, you're looking at about just under £20 with the, he gives you a discount for if you get it off YouTube or the Landscape Survival Group. Here we go. Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. Ryan, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. You are live. You've got over 20 people watching at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, over 20 people. And before I introduce you, we were talking, and John Ward, somebody said about flow point and about the staining that can occur on paving. And John said with sandstone, what you should be doing, you should be sealing it first. That's what he says. This is what John Ward says. Ryan, good morning. Welcome to the show. Can you tell us who you are and what you're about?
Ryan Boots, Managing Director of Elementals and Chemicals. We're a specialty chemicals company based in South Wales, and we manufacture the elements, paving shield, and other different sealers for natural stone paving.
Okay, fantastic. Look, we've got more people joining us now, right? Just your background. You are a chemist, aren't you?
Yeah, chemist by trade. Been in the printed electronics industry for about 10 years now. Yeah, I'm a formulations chemist. My wife's a formulations chemist. And we run our own business in the printed electronics industry.
Yeah,
making conductive inks for circuitry, and then obviously came into contact with yourselves when you did our patio, and had a discussion with you, and there was an opportunity to start working in the landscaping industry, and we've taken the step in that direction as well.
Yeah, just to let you know, Ryan, I am eating a bacon sandwich now as we're talking. It's not the done thing. It's not very professional, but in some cases I'm not professional. But where I am professional,
bring me one later.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. First of all, you've got Element Shield. You've got one out now. It's a water-based one. Can you tell us a little bit about it and about the importance of sealing paving, whether you pre-seal or after seal? Tell us the importance of sealing paving and why.
So with impregnation sealers, which are the type of sealers that we manufacture, you've basically got two options. You've got an aqueous system, which is a water-based system, or a solvent-based system. They work on different chemistries, basically. But with a water-based system, it's very easy to apply. You can apply it relatively in all weather, as long as your paving's relatively dry. It doesn't have to be totally dry like with a solvent-based system. You spray it on, roller it on, let it dry, and it's completely invisible, and it'll protect your paving for up to 3 to 5 years.
Okay, can I ask, when you spray it on, do you have to still sponge it or no, or what? Like,
with ribbon paving, it's not so important because you've got that texture. It'll soak into the texture. With a home stone, porcelain, things that haven't got that huge porosity value, it is important if you can work in pairs. One of you can spray it on and the other person can just even it out with a sponge or a roller. It'll just mean that you get much better contact and coverage and just an even coating all over.
Do you think it would be possible in the future that we can actually maybe your patio or maybe someone else's patio, can we go through an instructional video on how to seal your sandstone?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Not a problem at all.
And can you use this water-based on porcelain?
Say again, sorry?
Can you use this water-based sealer on porcelain?
Yeah, you can. So Element Paving Shield, you can use on pretty much any type of paving. All natural stones and porcelain. The only negative with a water-based system is you can't use it as a pre-sealer if you intend to post-seal.
Right.
Unlike a solvent-based system, whereas you can pre-seal and then post-seal. With a water-based system, you've got one opportunity that you get your 2 coats down wet on wet, and that's it. After that, it'll repel itself, basically.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think that people got to try and understand. And I was trying to get my head around it initially, and I understand it, but it's obvious to some. But obviously, when you put this water-based sealer on, it's going to repel water, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a certain chemistry that after the water evaporates, it becomes hydrophobic, so it repels the water, which means obviously you can't put the sealer back over the top because it's water-based, it repels itself.
Okay. I see. So it's best with a water-based sealer to seal after installation.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can do that when the slab is a little bit damp?
Ideally, if you can leave it 3 to 4 days to dry, obviously you want to let your grout system dry out, your bed to dry out, then that is going to be the best. But yeah, you've got a little bit more tolerance. Obviously, with the same as the aspects or the flow points, when you've got water there, you're diluting what you're putting down.
Okay.
So ideally, if it's dry, you're getting a much better performance because you've got a more concentrated sealer going down onto the paving.
And really, when you're sealing paving, you're not just sealing the porcelain, which has micropores in it, whether it's porcelain or whether it's sandstone. It's all those little voids that you're filling. But you're also sealing the grout system, aren't you, Ryan?
On a porcelain system, most definitely, because you've got no sort of capillaries, as they call it, running all the way through your stone. You've just got micropores. There's no way the water can come up through the stone and bring the dirt up from below. But obviously the grout system, being cementatious, it can come all the way through and you can bring the dirt up, you can bring the efflorescence up. So yeah, it's really important to seal your grout system.
And of course, you're going to get that greening and that algae effect if you've got a garden in a dark area. And and obviously with the winters that we actually have, your grout systems can go green as well. Right, I was going to say is whether it's a solvent seal or an aqueous sealer, is that they need to be breathable as well, don't they?
That's really, really important, especially in the UK. If you don't have an impregnation sealer or a breathable sealer, however you want to call it, and you put a topical sealer down, you might be okay for a couple of weeks, couple of months, depending on the time of year you put it down, but you will get problems because we live in such a wet country with varying weather. The change in temperatures will just draw moisture to the surface and eventually it'll just crack the topical sealer off the surface.
Right, look, it's going to be said, and somebody's going to say it at some point. Are we being too fussy with this paving now, or no? About sealing it, like some people's going to say, "Oh, we've never sealed paving before." But in my opinion, the porcelain, you've invested that money into your garden. You want it because you're changing your garden because you want it to look nice, and then you spend all that money, you've invested that money, and all of a sudden. You've got this contractor in, and then all of a sudden your paving's going green. Should the landscaper understand about sealers? Because nobody really tells us that you should be sealing paving. Should we seal our paving?
Yeah, I think a lot of people or a lot of landscapers that I've spoken to through the group have potentially tried a sealer, whether it be off the shelf from B&Q or Screwfix or whatever in the past, and they've had a bad experience because they didn't know what they were using, or they bought a cheap topical product or something like that. But having formulated these products ourselves in-house, we don't buy anything in, we formulate it all in-house.
Okay.
We've made sure it's easy application, it's designed for the user, it's not something that can, providing you follow the instructions, it's not something that can really go wrong. So I don't see why there needs to be such a stigma about sealing anymore.
And the product you're talking about is as well the Element Shield, the aqueous sealer. You've produced that sealer in-house. You haven't brought it in at all, have you?
No, everything's formulated in Cardiff. It goes through a very stringent quality control process. It's all manufactured. It's all bottled in Cardiff.
Yeah.
We've got external verification from a local university for all the results that we're quoting. So everything's been done by us in-house. Nothing's bought in. We're not relying on anybody else's products.
It's your product, and you know it inside out. You've produced this and cooked it in your kitchen, haven't you? Basically.
Exactly, yeah.
You got John Ward here actually says now, Ryan, I don't know if you can respond to this. He said, clients think it's no maintenance, not low maintenance. A bit like cleaning your windows, you need to do it.
This is what I said. That is a good point. I say to you, John, all the time about like the polishing your car analogy.
Yeah.
Although you don't have to polish your car, it's much easier to keep your car clean if you do polish it, and it's not something you have to do every day.
Yeah, look, right. I think when we're having these conversations now and we're doing this on live stream, we need to come down the studio. We need to do more about it because people are asking questions. They are inquisitive and they want to know the reasons why. And a lot of people are going to be negative towards it and they're going to think this is just another way of selling something. But, you know, we need to keep clean what we've got and what we take pride in, don't we? It's as simple as that.
Yeah, a lot of people are using the "you need to seal your stone" quote, but the reality of it, natural stone is natural. It's been out in the environment for thousands of years. You don't need to seal the stone for the stone's benefit. You're sealing the stone for your benefit, so that you can get out in April, May, have a barbecue straight away. You don't have to spend a week cleaning your patio off and the monotonous job every year. And every time, and when you're looking out in the winter, your paving looks immaculate. Whereas I know from even the job that you did for us, by Christmas we had green on the patio, and it's not your fault. It's just the nature of living in the UK.
Yeah, and of course, you know, you live on a new development, like I live on a new development, and certainly I know where we are now. And I remember actually, and I helped out on the demolition on your site with the company that took it down. The ground is massively compacted in some places, isn't it? And certainly,
clay, isn't it?
yeah, certainly where we are, it's absolutely solid. When they come to dig the garden out, Ryan, they had to get a breaker in. We've got somebody from Cookie Monster from Nebraska just says hello. Rob Fryer says investing anything on our property should be maintained and looked after. Money too hard to be wasted. Lee Andy says, can it also be used on black limestone? Right, black limestone.
If I'm honest, we've tried it on sort of the natural limestone, but I've never tried it on black limestone. But the chemistry of the rock itself should be no different. So I see no reason why I can't. But I'd be happy to arrange a sample for them to try themselves.
All right, but we could try that as well and just have a look and see how that actually turns out. Like,
yeah, if you've got a sample, John, then we can run tests in the lab, put it under the microscope, check everything. Not a problem.
Massively, that'd be brilliant. And what I'll do, I'll bring a whole slab over to you, and maybe we can get that out. But Ryan, I want to try and get this information out there, and I really appreciate your time. I know you've got a little baby, and you want to spend some time with her on the weekend, and Rebecca, of course, your lovely wife. And right, simply, what can we use the Element Shield aqueous sealer on? What can we use it on? Can you clarify that now before anybody even thinks about ordering it?
So you've got all natural stone paving, sandstone,
granite,
limestone, granite, marble, slate. If I've missed any off the top of my head, travertine, terracotta, concrete, porcelain, pretty much anything, any material you're using in your garden, you can use it on.
Yeah. Good morning, Daniel. Hey, look, right, I really appreciate you coming on, and you know, just to get you on here for 15 minutes, you wouldn't believe that, you know, we've got 24 live viewers at the moment. The live viewers on here will go up and down, and people are taking it on board, but they'll remember this. This is Ryan Boots from Element Shield. Right, if people were buying your product now, what size does it come in, and how much is it, and what's the coverage?
Yeah, we've got sample volumes available on the website, 100 millilitres, just to run a trial.
Oh, sorry, but you've got sample bottles now.
Yeah, they're available on the website. I think it's just a delivery charge. You have to pay for those.
Just got somebody just say, sorry, right, I'm going to just tell you now, just somebody just said, can you buy it in Ireland, or can you send it? It's going to be the packaging, isn't it? It's going to cost a little bit to actually get it there, isn't it?
Yeah, on the website, it's standard UK mainland delivery, but if they drop me an email, I can arrange for it to be dispatched to a different courier.
Okay, what's
and
the
send it
email
that way.
address, right? I'm interrupting you now, but as you can appreciate, I'm trying to engage with these people that are asking these questions now. If they wanted you to drop an email, what's the email address?
If they go to the website, which is www.elemental-ic.com/elements, then I fill in the inquiry form or pick up the email off there and I'll pick that up.
Yeah, right. If later on, if you just send me that email address and or I'll get the website address and I'll put it on in the description so anybody's looking for it.
I'll pop on when I come off the call. I'll pop onto YouTube. I'll post it in the comments.
Fantastic. Alex Lewis has just said, does applying the sealer on the porcelain tiles before grouting reduce the risk of staining?
If you use because we've been having these conversations over and over again, what we've been developing a solvent-based system, which is going through the last stages of testing and will be available soon. But we're also developing a pre-sealer that will work with the solvent-based sealer.
Right.
And we're hoping to get that out ready for the winter for when you're covered in mud.
Well, you never told me that one. So you're producing a solvent pre-sealer to put on before the final seal.
Yeah, so what you would do is you just put one nice layer of the pre-sealer down, or two if you've got the time, obviously. And then you can lay your paving, and then once you put your grout down, you can post-seal with the stone shield, and you'll have ultimate protection.
Yeah, I just trying to sort of point this out to people. What a lot of landscapers are doing, that, and Ryan and I we've talked about this. A lot of contractors with their natural stone is when they're arriving on site, as long as they're dry, they are pre-sealing, aren't they, Ryan?
Yeah, and I think it's going to become more and more popular when people realise how much labour is reduced in the cleaning after. When you're just rinsing it down with a hose rather than having to pressure wash everything or scrub everything.
And Ryan, when you're scrubbing and pressure washing, it don't always necessarily come out, does it?
Not without the use of chemicals. And I mean, obviously I work in the chemical industry and I understand what different chemicals are and what different chemicals do, but not necessarily every landscaper is going to realise what chemical they need to remove any contamination, blah, 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 and it gets complicated. I mean, we've had conversations, John, sometimes where you've been stuck and you don't know what to use.
No,
and I think it's going to happen to many people.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been stuck. Ryan, just to let you know, mate, last week when you gave me that little bit of chemical, and I tried to, and it did actually come off. But what I'm trying to point out to a lot of people, and through this education of this channel, is that there are many different types of porcelain out there, and some tend to be a lot more matte, like a matte finish, and more micropores in there than what others are. And it can be they're all different. They're all different, and all dirt sort of reacts in a different way. We went on that patio and we had all sorts of, though I put a sheet down, there was all sorts of things getting underneath the sheet. We poured it back, we pressure washed most of it off, but you've got to be so careful when you're using these products, haven't you?
Yeah, not necessarily the cheaper, but the lower quality the porcelain is, the more likely you are to get deeper micropores or micro defects.
Yeah.
And that's basically where your dirt and your contamination is going to get stuck. And that's going to cause you the problems.
Just going to go through the questions. Am I taking on more clients? Yeah, I could do in the future. Cookie Monster says, how great would it be if tiles came pre-sealed? I think there is someone out there that, I don't think they'd do it with porcelain because they didn't think they needed it. And I think if you buy them pre-sealed, I think it's going to be more expensive than if you did it yourself, right, in my opinion. John Ward says, keep your stone clean, sealed or not. You'll be in trouble if you don't, lads. Leanne says, is it maintenance free or how long before you need to reapply? So, right, that's a great point by Lee. So if you've got a water-based sealer, you can't seal it for how long?
What, you can't seal again, you mean?
Yeah.
So the way it's designed is that it's not a coating on the surface. It sits below the top layer of the stone. So it's actually inside the stone. And it protects it from the inside out, which stops it from wearing away by people walking over it and your pets and stuff like that.
But how long could it be, right, before you seal it again with a water-based sealer? Or could you? How long would it be?
It depends on the environment, the direction that the garden's facing, etc. But we would say 3 to 5 years, depending on weather conditions.
Three to 5 years. That's brilliant, isn't it? So you're going to see the difference in your paving. Really, that's when you know you need to start sealing it again. Then, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll definitely see the difference. But it works in a way that over time it breaks down. So with the sun on it, over time it'll break down and it'll just evaporate, and it's not something that's going to ruin your paving. It's not going to sit there forever. It's just a chemical that sits just below the layer of the stone and protects your paving from the inside out without changing the natural effect of your stone or your porcelain.
Well, I think that's absolutely brilliant. You're going to right. Is there a price that we can tell these people? But before you tell the price, what we're talking about is that we're talking about a sealer, a water-based sealer that you're going to seal after, and you can put the second coat on as long as you do it quick within a few hours or next day or whatever. Is it right?
What we recommend is within half an hour to an hour. Basically, depends on the size of your patio. Working in a pair, get all the way across your paving, and then just go back and start again. Basically, because it's an easy application. It's not something that you need to spend hours doing. Right. You can probably get your 2 coats down in an hour, no problem at all.
And 1 5 litre 2 coats will cover. Was it 50 square meters?
So yeah, on porcelain. Obviously, the coverage depends on the porosity value, but we'd recommend spraying and then evening out with a roller or a sponge. On porcelain paving, 1 5 litre container will do 2 coats on a 15 metre square patio.
Well, that's value for money, but we haven't asked the price. How much is the price for the 5 litre, right? We want to know. Is the price?
So it's $89.99. But because, obviously, of the landscaping survival and the green top landscapes, it's £10 off with Johnyboy 21 promo code.
Well, there you go. It's £89.99. But because of this channel and what we're promoting on here, you'll get that £10 off your purchase. With Johnyboy 21, yeah?
Yeah, I'll post that when I put the email address and everything on as well.
Okay, that's absolutely brilliant. Ryan, we really thank you for that. We really appreciate you working with us on this channel and on the Landscape and Survival forum. Just finally, if anybody's got any questions for you, they can just drop you an email. You've got a Q&A where you'll get back to them at some point.
Right. Yeah, either myself or one of the chemists or whatever can pick that up, and we can answer all the questions. Like I said, there is an FAQ section on the website.
FAQ.
The answer to your question might be on there, but if it's not, then just drop us an email or fill in an inquiry form and we'll get back to you.
Well, there you go. Element Shield, they got the FAQ on there. Ryan's just told us now it's £89.99, £10 off if you mentioned Johnyboy 21. Well, Ryan, thank you very much for joining. I don't want to keep you any longer.
Problem.
We've had
one last thing I'd say, John, is if they are looking at purchasing sealers and that sort of thing, if, for example, if you see a product that's £40, check the coverage on it, because you might need to buy 2 bottles rather than 1 bottle of elements or whatever. I'm not saying that ours is the ultimate coverage of anything.
To be honest, I think look, I know you, right, and I know your knowledge of this industry and what's involved in it. And what Ryan's saying is, you're getting value for money because there are cheaper products out there. But you really got to. Do you actually remember recalling, Ryan, when I had somebody that follows me on the channel? They sent me some pictures of a product that they were going to use, and it was just it was a disaster zone if they got it wrong, wasn't it?
That's it. I mean, there are some products out there selling 5 litres for £40, but you check the coverage and you can only do 15 metres squared. So to do a 50 metre square patio, you've got to buy 3 lots, and it works out more expensive. So just be careful. That's all I say. Yeah,
you only get what you pay for, don't you, Ryan? At the end of the day, look, Ryan Boots from Element Shield. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Go and have a good day and enjoy your family life, mate.
No problem. Cheers, John. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Ryan.
Speak to you soon.
Take care, bud. Bye-bye. Well, there you are. We've got to say a massive thanks to Ryan from Element Shield. People have been asking me a little bit more about sealers and how to apply, how to do it. If I can help you out and give you the answers to the questions, that's no problem at all. But massive thanks to Ryan Boots there. I didn't realise there was so much into that. It was running over it, but I think we got John Ward calling in this morning, so hopefully we'll get John to give us a call now. But massively interesting having Ryan on here because his knowledge, because he's a chemist. Here we go. As if on cue. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant. Good morning.
Good morning, John. How are you, mate?
Oh, good morning, John. I tell you what, I feel really humbled to actually have you on here. Thank you very much. You've got 26 live viewers on here, and thank you for your interaction on there. But how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm absolutely fantastic. It's a pleasure to speak to you and to speak to all these viewers. It's really good to help people and see how the community's going on. And, you know what I mean? See if we can push our what we do and the stone that we do and suppliers, and see if we can get everything together.
Look, listen, John, let me just tell our viewers, this is John Ward, a regular listening, and he's my mate and my colleague and my fellow landscaper, and John's everything good that I represent and what he represents, and we're like this. It's absolutely brilliant having you on here. John, tell us basically what your business is and where are you and what sort of work you do.
Well, we was predominantly a building firm, and then obviously through doing building work and everything we do in the Midlands, but mainly Solihull, Redditch, and them areas, them surrounding areas. And it's we done building, and then we moved on to obviously landscaping, because us who's doing the building, they wanted us to do the gardens, the landscaping, and so we grew into that. And then of course, you know, we had to have. You know, you, as a builder, like, because I'm a civil engineer by trade, and so you know you grew into it and you thought, hang on a minute, there's a bit more to this landscape than meets the eye. And then 15 years later down the ground, you still think you're fighting the same battles that you had with suppliers, with clients, people going bankrupt, lack of materials. It's a very, very hard game for all those chaps out there doing landscaping. In the weather, you're fighting against the weather. It's a very, very hard battle. And I'm just, admiration to the lads that go out there and do it day in and day out.
Yeah, it's what we call the daily grind, isn't it, in the landscaping world, like John. John, picking up on something there, you made a real transition from building to landscaping, and when was that?
Well, we done it about 6 or 7 years ago, but we was always doing it in. We're still doing extensions and building and maintenance, but I'd say 50% of our work is landscaping. I've got 2 lads that are absolutely brilliant at it. I mean, and there's a couple of lads out there. I've watched them cut with a still saw, and they don't use a table saw, and they are absolutely brilliant. There's a couple up in the north, there's a couple in the Midlands, there's a couple. There's a couple that can use. But we do use a table saw. We use a table saw, but there's a couple of lads that, and I just grew into them really and watched how they done it, and they worked for me, and they led me and says, oh no, showed me all the pitfalls. How when you're levelling out, like, because I understand civil engineering, so we level out first, and you see the actual different gravy between, porcelain, laying porcelain and laying sandstone and laying block paving. There's a world of difference, an absolute world of difference.
Yeah, we'll get on to that in a moment, John. But listen, landscaping, it's not for the faint-hearted, is it, if it's done right?
Oh, no. Every day it's a drudge. Everything's heavy. The weather's against you. Materials are against you now. Prices are against you now. And what we was just touching on earlier was like people sealing patios. Well, on every patio I do, on the bottom, I give me price, and then I give the client the option to seal the patio. I always put it at the bottom to seal the patio. We recommend sealing the patio, and then give them a cost, and then put it outside the price. So then it's up to them. But we recommend you do it. We recommend, because you wouldn't not vacuum your carpets, would you?
No, absolutely.
The carpets.
So there you are. I just want to remind our viewers what you said there, John. So what John's saying in this quote, outside the actual quote to landscape the garden, you give a separate price for sealing the paving, John. Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. You put your price You put your price in, plus that, and then on the bottom we say we recommend sealing the patio. And obviously, you know how big it is, so you just put down, an extra price, say, 350 quid or 250 quid, and we recommend this as a sealer to keep the patio clean. And we also put down, we recommend it at least every 6 months that you don't clean it with a pressure washer, because people go mad with these pressure washers.
Yeah.
You just clean it with soap and water and a stiff brush, to keep it clean.
Yeah, John,
it's low maintenance, not no maintenance.
Yeah, you picked on something that was really important, because some people they'll do it themselves, or they get somebody else in that don't necessarily understand the stone. And I'm not suggesting that some cleaning companies don't understand the stone, but there are some cleaning companies that don't understand the stone. You don't want to sort of smashing that stone with a high powered pressure washer, do you?
No. I mean, there's a couple of places. I mean, there's a place in the Midlands that's just been done, and they clean it regularly with a pressure washer. It's a big shopping centre, and it's blown all the grout out of all the paving. It's blown out all the grout because they've done it with a massive pressure washer. They're cleaning it all out, and they're not doing it. They're treating it like, once every 6 months and blasting it, instead of just cleaning it just cleaning it gradually. Nice bit of soap and water, and just cleaning it proper. They're going at it aggressively. And if you've got, some of these pressure washers, they'll strip paint off. They'll strip paint off metal. That's how powerful they are. So if you put them anywhere near your grate, they're going to knock it straight out, aren't they?
Well, listen, we talked about this, that you can actually cut paving and concrete with water. People don't realise how powerful it is. And you use a cutting service, I believe, John, isn't it?
Say again.
You use a water cutting service, do you, down your area?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, where we are, if we've got any stone that needs cutting, there's a place just by Birmingham Airport where you take it, you measure it out, take it, and they'll cut it for you. Of course, you've got to take it. They offer no pick-up or delivery service. But if you've got anything that you need, like bullnosing, or it looks a bit awkward or something like that, where we've got any cappings, and the client's just bought stone, and it needs capillary joints, or it needs rounding off. We just put it all in the truck, send it to them. They cut it for us and bring it back. And it's a brilliant service. Don't get me wrong, it costs.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant service, but it saves us. Trying to do it on site in someone's garden is not sometimes the best way to do it.
Yeah, John, what's the benefits of getting it cut in this way, like the capillary groove, the bore nose, and what's the benefits of doing that?
Well, it's professionally done, so you're not kind of like tripping over each other. It's all done, and you give it to someone else. You see, if they make a mistake with the stone, you can go back to them. But it's done, and it's done on in a confined, in a factory unit where it's done properly. Whereas sometimes you're against the weather, you're against the elements. You're doing it yourself, and we find we're better off putting the stone down, and cutting the bits that we've got to, because that's a bit more technical, and you fight against the tools, or you might not have the right blade. You send it to them, within a couple of days, that you pick it all up, and it's all done perfect.
Oh,
so it's a bespoke service they offer.
John, this isn't going to be the last time I'm going to get you on here. We're going to get you on here a few more times in the future. How you run your business, John, and you can tell that you know what you're doing. You're a man of integrity. If there was anything that you could improve in your business, right, where would you improve it if you could?
Probably, definitely on the paperwork side. I'd have someone, I've got a person dedicated in the office now. I've got a person dedicated, but I'd have brought that one person in before, and not trying to do everything all at once. Because I predominantly started as a one-man band. You grow out of that kind of thing, and then you learn to take other people on, and you see, like they're taking other people on necessarily, trying to keep the standard that you set is very hard, and trying to enforce that can be very hard, to get other people that we don't do it like that, we do it like this, we don't treat customers like that, we do it like this, and to obviously translate that through your workforce is very hard, and it's something I still struggle to to deal with having, 8 and 10 blokes work for me.
Yeah,
But
because
we
it
get
seems.
there, but I can see why people get into trouble, because you've got more work on, you take on blokes. They do the work for you, and it's not necessarily what you do, and then the client moans because it's not right. And so you have to turn up, you have to replace it, you do it, it costs you money, and it's so easy to get into trouble.
Yeah, John,
I
think you touched on a couple of things. There's a lot of people that go into this business, and some people just going into any business. They're not meant to go into business. They're not made for it. But certainly going into business in the landscaping industry, you've been out there all day. You've dealt with all the elements. You've dealt with customers. You've dealt with suppliers, right? And then when you come back, you've got to do that paperwork, haven't you? And not everybody's cut out to do it, are they?
No. I mean, you've got to be a tradesman. You've got to be an organiser. I mean, you've got about 12 different hats on. You're an invoicer. You're an estimator. You're the client's negotiator. You're the materials man. You're the info, and you can't do everything. And you've got to realise that you can't do everything, and you've got to delegate things to other people. But, and this is the big but, you've got to understand that delegating to other people means that they will make mistakes.
Yeah.
Just as you all make mistakes. And it's how you deal with mistakes that shows you the company that you are.
I think Steve Jobs, before he died, a couple of years before he died, he mentioned about putting people, delegating and putting people in positions to do the jobs that you can't do, and you've got to just relinquish that control. But I think it's hard, in this business, when you've built it up from a one-man band and you start taking on people, you start putting people in position, right? It's hard to let go, isn't it, John? Is it hard?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got to realise that if anything goes wrong, the customer rings you. They don't ring the bloke that works for you that's probably in the pub drinking. They ring you. So you kind of like, you go through that thing, right, well, I'm going to go back down now. It's just going to be me and a couple of labourers. I'm not going to do it. But unfortunately, we're so, we do that many things. You have to take people on. So it was forced on me. But it's like a lot of one-man bands. It's my way or the highway. And you can see why? Because you've got the responsibility. You've got the debts. Your mortgage is riding on it. It's very, very hard, and to trust people. Because they'll phone you up. I'm sick. I can't come in. We don't have the facility for being sick, do we?
No, not at all.
We have to pay the wages.
When was the last time John? When was the last time you had a sick day?
Oh, I don't think I have. I've always been working. If I can't get out, and I've had something that's dilapidated me. I've been really sick. I've still been in the office phoning clients up. Doing stuff, organising. So I don't quite have that facility, but I am in a position where I can walk away from a job, and I can leave my lads to do the job because I've got there. But that's not happened overnight. That's taken 20 years.
John,
believe me.
Can I just butt in just for a second, because I love listening to you talking, and you've got some viewers on here now. Henry Flint says, Henry, that's from Elite Stone Tools, fantastic tools. He says, I use a place called Waterjet UK, a lot for stone flooring, for cutting. DCL says, wise words, very true. So hard letting that control and trust to go to someone else when it's your name on the business. And that's the thing, John, isn't it? It's in your DNA as a person that you've built that business that feeds your family, keeps a roof over your head, right? Gives you a good name, and then all of a sudden you start employing people, and you've got to let go, haven't you? And we're not built that way, are we? How do we do it? How do we get right? How do we get over that hurdle, John? How do we get over that hurdle?
Yeah, it's very, very hard. I mean, my friend told me, he told me this, no one will ever work for you like you work for yourself. And if you expect that, right, then you'll never, ever, ever, ever take people on. So you do have to kind of like back off and bite your tongue. And it's a long process. If you've got someone that's 80% of the work and he's doing the best job and he's doing the best of his ability and you can nurture him into your way of thinking. You can nurture him, but it's a very slow process. And if you take on, what I would never do is take on someone new and let them go on one of my jobs without one of my lads, because that's when you make mistakes, and that's when you'll see them doing jobs that you'd not be happy with, and the client sees it, and that's when you start to go downhill.
John,
So
I'm gonna butt in again now. You got 29 live viewers here now, right? People are listening, right? The views aren't going. So what? I was just going to reiterate what you were saying, that we were talking about, and this is the thing, is that, and even the consumer is watching this now, because when a consumer is choosing a contractor to work for them, they want somebody with an ethos, just like you were explaining then, and saying about, it's very difficult when you have to nurture people in your way of thinking. And at what point do you feel that people that work for you have the same priority in your business? Do you get to that point, John? What do you get your staff to that point? Will they get there?
Yeah. I mean, they're there. It's when the client rings you up and goes, because we get most of our clients, and we get a lot of repeat work. They ring you up and go, fantastic blokes, love their attitude. I asked them to do this, and they've done it. They've done this, and you think to yourself, well, okay. Despite my moaning at them and my poor givings, I'm hearing it time and time again from other people saying, lovely job, fantastic blokes. Would recommend that, and you're hearing other people say it, and it kind of like, then you think to yourself, okay, I'm probably getting I'll ease off them. I'm too hard on them now because they are doing what I want them to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, John, when does it become, when you're reminding people, at what point does it become from reminding people to ensure that they keep doing to what you expect of them? When is it like just reminding them, and when is it moaning or groaning, and which they can get fed up of?
Well, every day, every job, every day, every job. You go to the job, you have a list, and you say, listen, this client's like this. You know what we do? We put stuff down, we go and get the stuff, we clean up overnight, and it's every day. You reiterate it, and you keep going on like a parrot. And you keep going on like a parrot, they roll their eyes, but that's what you have to do. And the minute you don't say it, the minute you don't keep it up, then you're letting your guard down, and you could be in for a fall. But it's every day, every job. Without, if we start a job, we usually have a bit of a meeting. I'll meet the lads there and say, listen, lads, this is what we're doing. Go through it all. You know the score. Put the sheets down before we even start. Get the stuff out. Ask the woman where we can put all our stuff, where we can use the water, what we're going to do with it. And you go through a routine, an organised routine. And it's just reiterating it, because, men are just like children. If you let them do what they want to do, they will. So you have to steer them in the right direction.
Yeah.
But they are good blokes, but the workhorses, you've got to remember, they're not businessmen. And you're a businessman. You're trying to grow your business, so you're trying to improve. So you have to do.
So they got to understand what the word ethos actually means, haven't they? They have to sort of start valuing that. Look, I was going to say something, John. John, have you ever been in a position where no matter what you do, no matter how conscientious you are with your work, have you had those moments where you think that was unfair by a client in some way?
Yeah. I've had I've had clients, as you do, not many, like moan, say, like, for instance, like, we're charging, we're using the electric and charging the batteries and that, and again, you're using my electric, like that. So I went, oh, right. So I have to put on all my invoices now, all my quotes, that use of electric water and services we will need the use of, because some clients will moan, and they're moan that we're actually using their electric, and he moaned, he says he wasn't just, one client said, we wasn't just using electric to charge batteries, we was using electric to boil a kettle to have a cup of tea.
Yeah. So
you kind of look at them clients and think, well, I won't be working for you again with that attitude, like, you know what I mean? But
Johnny, I'm going to bet it. I got to bet it, because you can run with this. It's absolutely fine, John. Like, just going back, we've moved on to terms and conditions. But before we move on to terms and conditions, just read some of the comments. Daniel Hurley said, "What is John Ward's business called? I missed it." What's the name of your business, John?
Oh, it's JW Construction Limited.
JW Construction Limited. Have you got a website?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, JW. We've got it at jwconstructionlimited.com. We've got a website, yeah.
jwconstructionlimited.com. If you want to have a look at John's website, pop over there and have a look. John, you were touching on terms and conditions then, basically, is that some customer said, about, I've had that before about the electric, and I've actually refunded some money for the electric. It was only probably £20 for a few days, but I gave them some money for the electric and they gladly accepted it, which I was a little bit shocked. But terms and conditions, what are terms and conditions, John? Can you explain to us what terms and conditions are?
Yeah. I mean, you just put them on. It's like people will say, what are your terms and conditions? If you want your payment, how you want your payment. Like, terms and conditions are we don't want nothing up front, but we'll pay when the job's a third of the way through, a third of the money, 2/3 of the way through, 2/3 of the money, and when you finish, final payment 14 days afterwards. And if you don't put that in, or say like if you want to use, we need use of electric and water, and if you don't put them in, they can say, well, actually, you never said that, so we're going to pay you all the money at the end of the job. So it's just a bit to protect yourself, really.
Yeah. So John, what we're saying now is
protect the company, protect the materials, protect your usage. Like, if they mention something like you can't go over the grass, we'll put, we've got to go over the grass to get to where we're going, but we'll put sheets down, but we can't guarantee that we'll keep the grass, free from, dying or something like that, because, it's the nature of our work. So you've got to protect yourself, because, we don't get many, but you do get the odd awkward client that will, try and check the nick out of you.
Yeah, John, look, the reason I know what terms and conditions are, like, I live with a legal executive. She tells me about legal stuff all the time. But I've just Googled terms and conditions. In terms of conditions, terms of service. Terms of service are a legal agreement between a service provider and a person who wants to use that service. The person must agree to abide by the terms of service in order to use the offered service. Terms of service can also be merely a disclaimer, especially regarding to the use of websites. So basically, this is your contract, isn't it? Everything that you'll say that you're going to do. We're going to lay 20 square meters of Indian sandstone, and what shape it's going to be in, and what you're going to point it with, what you're going to lay it in. They are your terms and conditions. But you can also, can we put terms and conditions is to have a piece of toast by 10 o'clock every day with some jam and a cup of tea?
Yes, you could. Yeah, it'd be nice to do that, but I don't think you get very much. I don't think you have to too far with it.
No, but
you could do. But the main thing about terms and conditions is when you send them off, to get them signed and sent back.
There you go.
If you just send them off, if you just get them sent off, and they can say, well, I've seen them, but I didn't agree to them, so you must get them signed and sent back, John.
John, you've touched on something there that's so important, terms and conditions, and you inadvertently brought that in, and without we were talking about it, and I think there's so much to talk about, and something with your knowledge and your expert skills, and I tell people all the time, the terms and conditions are so important. Though a verbal contract can be legally binding, but it can actually be disputed, obviously, because there's nothing in writing. Terms and conditions need to be right, and like John said, you need to get them signed, don't you, John?
Oh, yeah. I mean, verbal, you see, is only that you could say one thing, they could say the other, and they go, well, I thought you meant something. So whenever we send a quote off, we always ask, can you sign it and send it back to us? And so they're signing to agree to the terms and our terms and the payment details. Again, because clients, obviously, they don't pay you on time, so you can just remind them, say, listen, blah, blah, blah. But if you haven't got that in place, they can say, well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not paying you till I finish the job. And that could bankrupt
John,
firms.
How easy is it to say to your client when they question something, could it be, obviously it's how you say it, but it's not offensive to say, can you refer to your terms and conditions?
Well, no, really, we don't say that, really.
Say for instance, the job was going on and they questioned something. You could just remind them about what was on the quote, couldn't you?
Yeah. All I say is we're doing something to say, I'm due for, send them an email, say I'm due for payment as per our quotation and terms and conditions. So, it's just reminding them, really.
What if...
question, I've done 20, say they want 25 square metres of stone, and you say, well, hang on, you want us to extend the garden, that's about 35, that's extra. And they go, oh, I didn't realise that. I go, yeah, look on our quote, and you'll find that it's 20 odd. So it's a reminder, and, you've got a good face to go back. As if you just said, well, verbal, I'm just going to do the garden, I'll do all of it for you in stone, and then they increase it. If you've got nothing to verify what you increased it from, how you're going to charge that difference?
But also,
it's just a bit of protection, really.
Yeah, but it also helps you when you talk to a customer and you're in the garden and they forget what they've had. You can actually get the quote out and you can show them the quote. So then any additions then can be discussed. Let me just read what somebody says here. This is Sheedle. She says, have a clause in your T's and C's to say failure to sign. However, acceptance of the services are deemed as acceptance of the T's and C herein.
Yeah. I mean, that's quality. Yeah, that's quality. That is.
Yeah, I like that. That's Sheedle. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just as you go on. You've got to. I mean, I only know because I've had to out of my own pocket pay things out because it wasn't clear on my quote what we were doing. And so the customer was under the impression that we was doing X amount. I was under the impression we were doing Y amount. And of course, who's going to pay for that? It's got to be me now, innit? Because I want the job finished. It's got to be done properly. So you learn from your own mistakes, and then what you learn to do. And not only that, if you do a proper quote with proper T's and C's in, you drop it on someone gets it through. It looks like a professional. You're a proper professional company, and against other firms, it will look head and shoulders. The quote will against others, because you've taken the time to do it right. So if you've taken the time to do your quote right and everything else, there's a chance that you're going to do the work right, isn't it?
It just looks professional, doesn't it, John? It just looks professional on every level to present.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to go on to operate your business and to stay afloat, so you're not going to go bankrupt, and to offer a professional service. Everyone should be doing this. Everyone should be doing this. And it's only because I evolved, because you do things on the back of a fag packet, when you start off first.
I was going to say, would you accept terms and condition on the back of a fag packet? You probably wouldn't, would you?
No, but as you start, you see, and you get, clients talk to you, and they try to tell you how to do the job. Well, it's only this, you need to that. And, you have to remind them, you're the professional. No, we need to do it this way. This is what we do. Other contractors might do it that way, but we offer this service because we have a guarantee, and we do it like this because then we guarantee. If you want it done that way, which is not what we recommend, then we'll do it, but we're not going to guarantee it because that's not the right way to do it. So you kind of like protect yourself, and most clients, customers see that.
Yeah, John, look, we can cover this again. Just going to read what Lee's from Liverpool. He's a friend of mine, I'll tell you that now, and he's a great guy, does some fantastic work. And he was just saying, and just changing subject a little bit now, he says, some people are crazy, some hate me using the water when cleaning down every day.
Yeah. I mean, you can get the people go, just be careful what you're doing when on a water meter. You know what I mean? You just think to yourself, well, hang on. Like I said to the blokes, I said, well, you've got to use the water to clean the jobs. I'd rather have the job clean and she comes back for 20 people, for water.
How can can you not clean? How do you clean without water, John, doing the job we do?
Well, you can't, can you? We've been on jobs where we've got no outside tap and we've had to ferry water in. And it's an absolute living nightmare.
I'll tell you now, John, I've actually fitted many taps for customers over the years, many taps. They couldn't even get the plumber in, and I've had to get in that cupboard underneath the sink. I've had to pull everything out. I've had to clean the cupboard when I was in there because I had to sort of get in amongst it. And I've drilled through many units behind and through the wall to get a tap in. And I've had to do it because there was no outside tap. And there's nothing worse when you've got slow pressure as well. That doesn't help. But you cannot. You've got to be able to use water, have you, John, to clean a job? How else would you clean it?
Oh no! I mean, I bought. There was one job I remember. There was no outside tap, so I told my mate to go and B&Q, buy one of those tap connectors. So he connected to the tap connector in the kitchen, using it to wash down, put it down on the side. About an hour later, he went in. He went, Jesus. He said that thing's blown off. Flooded the kitchen, and we had to spend like two blokes had to spend half a day cleaning the kitchen up.
Oh.
Something I won't do again, but you do learn from your mistakes.
Do you know, John, I'll tell you now, years ago, we worked for a client. They were called John and Alison, just like me and Alison. And they were a lovely couple. And the only way to get water out was through their kitchen. They had, down the bottom, they had a bathroom at a lower level. And what we had to do, we had to put one of those, do you remember one of those plastic pipes you were able to put on top of the taps years ago?
Yes.
And we had one of those going out through the kitchen window, and we were washing down the one time, and we took our eye off the ball, and I'm not laughing because it flooded the bathroom completely, and we didn't even know. And I hadn't been in the house for the whole duration of the project. It was about 3 weeks. Young Jamie was ex-soldier. He went into this kitchen, this bathroom, to check it out, and only to find all the water flooded. And then I had to go in, and we had to get one of those things that suck all the water up. And but the carpet it was clean. It never come up as it was cleaner than what it was when it started. But when the customer arrived back, I was absolutely sweating and leaning on his cupboard because he always left tea and biscuits. So I was eating his biscuits, stood in his kitchen, leant down there, and he didn't even know what was going on. But when I explained to him, he understood. But these things happen, don't they, John? They happen.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. But it's just putting them right, and it's just putting them right. How you do them, and like I said, you've got to have the tools to do the job. So what are you expected to do?
Yeah, John, listen, I think they're on about me and you going on quite a bit now. They're enjoying it. Look, listen, I know. Look, it's great having you on here. Can't wait to come down and see you. I got a few things happening at the moment with me. Lots of things going on. But John Ward, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I really, really appreciate your time. I would love to continue.
No,
I can't wait to buy you a breakfast or a sarnie or a cup of tea one day.
Yeah, same here,
Yeah, look, John, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining. I want to get you on here again sometime in the near future.
Okay, thanks, John. See you, lads. See ya.
Cheers, John. Thanks very much. There you go. He's gone. It was great having John on here, and he made a lot of sense with the things that he was saying and what he was sharing. And if we didn't have characters like John, like, you know, he's successful at what he does, and you know, he's proceeding in the right direction, and you know, just motivational with the guys he's got working for him, and his whole ethos in business. He's back on here now. I do waffle on, lads. No, you don't, John. You're absolutely fine. Bongani Majeki, I hope I said that right. Just want to say, Johnny, I really appreciate your work, and sometimes new in the industry, it's such a blessing to have this platform to learn and improve in all the aspects of my craft. They keep the work going. Hey, listen, bud, it's not just about me. We appreciate comments like that, but like John Ward and Sean on here as well. Great to have the amounts of people that watch this during a live feed where they come and they watch this after. Let's hope that it grows. If any of you have enjoyed it, try and give it a like. I'd really, really appreciate that. And that was enjoyable. Maybe we'll start doing the live streams as soon as we get this system. Yeah, it was a great live today, Lee. As soon as we get this system set up, we'll be able to get into what I call the undisclosed location, which is my garage, but people, they didn't like it, but I called the undisclosed location. But when we're in there, we'll be looking at the Vaunt shaft. We've got the Ruby shaft coming. We've got lots of giveaways to come very soon. Never had time for it today. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm just going to read a couple of comments just before I say goodbye. Thanks, great show today. Yeah, it's like a show, isn't it? The Motivated Gardening channel there. Simon Jones says, very interesting talks this morning. Thanks again for the commitment to the landscape award. No, thank you guys for your commitment to this channel. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And remember, try and share this video on your platforms. If we can get 10 shares on this platform this morning. 21 likes, absolutely fantastic. I really, really appreciate that giving this channel 22 now. Thank you very much. If you can share this video, that would be absolutely great. John Roddles, thank you very much, John. Thank you for the thumbs up. Really, really appreciate it. But try and share the video now. That's what we'd like to do. Get it out there so everybody will benefit from it. Sean McGrath said the TVH hard and duro. What a blade that is. Thanks for the heads up, John. My pleasure. Thank you all for joining. We're going to continue this next week, but it might not necessarily be from here. It may be from an airport. See you soon. Take care. Be safe. And big thanks to the guys from ITS. But most of all, thank you for watching. Take care. All the best. Have a great weekend.